Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. And this type of video I always hesitate to make because I feel like a small portion of YouTube loves this Burstonian stuff, like talking about biomechanics. It's mostly people from Asia. My clients that are in the West, as opposed to people in the East who are like, ew, no, I don't want to know about this stuff. But listen, I was trained by Burstone himself. No, I do not have a photo of me standing with him. You guys gotta figure this was the 90s slash early 2000s. Sorry, it was 2001. But when I first met him was probably 1999, so it was the 90s. Um, and we did not have camera phones. We're lucky if we even had a cell phone. You were rich if you had a cell phone and it looked like a brick, or a flip phone if you got lucky. You couldn't even text, okay? There was no camera phones. We had regular analog Kodak cameras that you had to take and get developed. Matter of fact, when we started our residency, we didn't even have digital cameras. We took slides. We did actual slides, slideshows with slides that you Kodachrome. Anyways, so the question here is which type of hook is best? And I mean, most people in the US are going to use your traditional. Your hook is on your bracket. It's built into your bracket. You stick it on. It's there if you need it. You can ask for brackets on other. I can have brackets. I can have hooks put on any brackets if I want a special order. I would say anyone I order always had hooks on the fours, fives, and threes. It's not typical to have hooks on two to two. Nobody wants that. It looks ugly. But threes, fours, fives, sixes, sevens, normal. I like to have hooks built into my brackets. Anyways, but it's however you buy the prescription, right? Worst comes to worst, you can run a Kobe tie hook under. Not a big deal. They bend a little bit, they're annoying, so be it. But this is normally how you see class 2 elastics, right? Or class 3 elastics if you're going that way with the vector. There's another way to do it, which is where the hook can be on the wire. Whether you buy a wire where it's already soldered on, that's obviously going to only probably work for stainless steel, which I generally don't even use. So, but yeah, you can solder it yourself or you can buy them pre-soldered. They sell them. You can Google it. You can look up stainless steel orthodontic arch wires with soldered hooks for elastics. They exist, but I looked only in stainless steel. You can buy TMA or CNA wires that can you could put a bend in them. So you could and those you can get those with gable bends or omega loops, which you could theoretically run wires off of. That might change the properties a little bit with the moments, but I mean, it sounds expensive. I don't think I'd do that, but yeah, you can. You can buy these. I certainly wouldn't try to do it myself. It might change the properties. Most commonly, you can buy the crimpable ones, which can either be slid over, which don't have an opening in the back. They can either be slid over, assuming you don't have a bend, or can be plucked on top and then crimped. You have to be careful when you crimp it. Obviously, you have to buy the right size slot on this to fit the right size arch wire, because when you crimp it, it shouldn't be spinning around. It should be like really tight. And you have to buy a crimping plier, but I just use the edge of a bird beak or a pin cutter. But yeah, that works just fine, the crimpable. So all right, so let's go into the Burstonian a little bit, and I have to kind of really make sure my coffee kicked in before I talk about this. But basically, in a nutshell, attachment directly to the bracket hook is going to be one thing, right? So this is going to put a little bit more force directly on that tooth, which is then going to be translated into the arch wire. So it's going to be more on the tooth, which might not be great in a situation maybe where if you had some root issues on that tooth, or if you had potential pathology on that tooth, bone issues on that tooth, perio issues on that tooth, then maybe you wouldn't want to do that, right? I mean, I kind of hope if you're having those issues, you are maybe not picking braces as your way to straighten teeth, but I mean, people do. So, where as opposed to if it's soldered onto the wire, it's translated throughout the whole arch wire. I couldn't really find any real studies where there was any big difference on the efficacy of the class 2 or class 3 correction. It looked like maybe they were thinking there's a little more occlusal plane canting, but I mean, ultimately, I don't think it matters that much what you do. I'm always worried that these suckers are going to fall off because of the force you're putting on them, and then people are going to eat them and inhale them, and I'm going to be sued. So, do I use these? No. Mm-mm. Do I use this? No. So I use this, yes. And I mean, only reason I consider maybe using this, we used to use these, let's put it this way. We used to use this stuff in surgical traction after orthodontic surgery. We did all these crimpable hooks, solder hook stuff. So that's how my brain works with this stuff, because we used it for ligation. That makes sense to me. I don't know that it necessarily makes sense to stick it on the archway. But then again, if I had some majorly traumatized teeth and I really didn't want the force to go on them and I needed the vector to go a certain way and I couldn't move it back here because it would change the vector, maybe I would do that. It would be a very much a one-off. But you can do your own research if you're into that kind of stuff. To me, probably not worth the time. All right, thanks.